Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So I'm now a marathoner, now a marathon finisher. So it's Wednesday morning now, a couple of days after the marathon. Decided to get out and do any short, probably 3 or 4k max, probably 3k, just to get the legs turned over again. So yeah, I'm going to get this run done. Weather's a bit grim, and then I'll check back in later, and I'll probably do a full marathon recap in terms of how it went, how I felt. Like I said, a couple of days have passed now, so everything's kind of sunk in, and overall, yeah, I'm really happy with how things went in the end. I was a bit disappointed, obviously, immediately afterwards, just because of how badly I'd faded, but it seems to have happened to a lot of people. So yeah, when I get back, I'll do a full recap. Let's get this one finished. Today I'm just going to look at my basically the stats and the facts etc for my first marathon attempt. Got out this morning, as you just saw the footage, my first run post marathon. So now I'm just basically going to just deep dive into the stats, look at what went well, what didn't go quite so well. At the end of that marathon vlog, basically I was a bit subdued, and just in terms of, obviously I was flying, feeling like I was doing really well till about 25 to 30k maybe. And then I fell away, as now I've kind of come to realise, as you sometimes do in marathons. But I was a bit disappointed, obviously, immediately post-race. Now, a couple of days later, I've kind of let everything sink in. I'm much more content with how I've performed. Obviously, it was my first ever marathon attempt. I finished. Some people obviously didn't finish. Hope they're all recovered. Obviously, during the day, I saw people pulling off to the side, not well, injuries, etc. After the race, we saw an ambulance leave as well. So. And again, other people have had major issues and took much longer than they wanted to take. So overall, I ended up with my C goal, which was sub 350. My minimum target was sub 4, which again I've also achieved that. I beat myself up for probably the first day, thinking, oh, could I have gone that bit faster? Could I have pushed that bit harder? But all in all, I did what I wanted to do. So basically, let's dive straight into it. So basically, let's look at the stats. So the overall, I'm just going to refer to my stats as I'm talking. Again, I'll put details on the screen. So officially, the official chip time was 3:48:29. So that was what I was provisionally told it was a chip time. So that ended up being the official time, 3:48:29. I finished. I'll go off chip times rather than gun times, obviously. So chip position ended up being 856. Out of 3,101. In males, I was 697th out of 2,196, and in my category of male veteran 35 plus, I was 116th out of 350. And then just to break down the 10Ks, so my first 10K, I did it in 50 minutes 9 seconds. I then did my second 10k in 50 minutes and 46 seconds, and then my third k was 53:43. So actually, I remember up to 25, I was literally like just rolling, and then 20, I think, yeah, and then maybe a couple of k between 25 and 30 was a bit effort wise. So that's why I've dropped off a little bit, a couple of minutes there, slower 53:43, and then it's just that last 10k basically, yeah, that I finished. I did that one in 1 hour, 1 minute, 5 seconds. So that's when I really hit the wall a little bit. And then again, just on the screen. So that was my 10k breakdowns. So as you can see, I'll put on details on the screen now. So first 1 to 21, basically up to half marathon pace, I was very consistent. As you can see, it was around 5 minutes flat for most of it. Some were just below, some were just above, but literally 5 minutes flat. And I wasn't aiming for, that's basically 3:30 pace. I wasn't aiming for that. I wasn't going out too fast. I was literally went out on feel. I was consciously thinking to myself, keep reining myself in. I was trying to deliberately hold myself back in terms of not going too fast. That was all 5 or 6 out of 10 for effort wise. It was just rolling. I was having conversations with multiple runners in terms of what they're aiming for, and I was completely comfortable. I was just rolling along, the miles were just ticking by, so felt really good. I think I put on the actual vlog when I was checking in every 5k that I'm not going to deliberately slow down because I didn't feel I needed to. So it wasn't a matter of me blowing up. I was literally just rolling along basically. Yeah. So that was 1 to 21 up to half marathon, basically just nice and consistent. And then the second half of the race, so 21, 22 onwards. So 22 was a bit of an uphill, so there's a bit of a drop off, but not much. 23 was back to normal, 5 minute flat. 24 was the same, 25 was the same. Again, this is what I kind of remember. And then 26 was a bit of a drop off. 27 was a bit more what I wanted to be. And then basically, yeah, from 28 onwards, I think it was that hill there. I don't know if I can't recall exactly, but it was around that time when we hit Founding. And those that ran the race, or those that know the course, Founding, just all of a sudden you're just moving through like countryside, and then literally you're going a very steep, very sudden downhill, like on a back lane. Then you go across a bridge, and then you back up to a really quite steep and significant hill on the other side as well. And I'm pretty sure that just kind of finished me off in terms of that sudden downhill, wiped the quads. And then the uphill obviously burned my hamstrings and whatever energy I had left. And then when it leveled back out, I just couldn't get my legs turned over as quick again. I remember thinking I'm making an effort here, but I just couldn't move any quicker basically. So, and then as you can see on the screen, yes, I saw anything from that point onwards. So 28, yeah, so 29, I was down to 5:30 pace, and then literally after that, there wasn't one anywhere. Well, there's a couple of 5:30s, but most were really, really slow. And then as you can see, from 33 onwards, I ended up dropping into the 6 minute K category basically, with some, I think the 40th one, that's the Sandy Hill, the last two, 40, 41. That's the Sandy Hill up and down. So basically, yeah, I dropped off quite significantly definitely from 30k, maybe slightly before 30k. But again, it's on the screen now, elevation. It's an undulating course. I ended up doing 264 meters of elevation gain. There's a few at the start, again, but you're fresh. But as you can see, from about halfway, so that's the 20k line there in the middle, there's a significant portion of hills up and downs in the second half of the race when you're obviously fading anyway. And then again, from 30k, you've got quite a bit downhill, which you think would be good. But again, when your legs have got no energy, you end up not using the downhills by rolling down them. You end up having to brake yourself, which again just saps the energy from your legs. So I'm not making excuses, it's just the way the course is laid out, that the hills in the second half do make it more difficult, hence why that's probably a contributing factor as to why I slowed down a little bit. I didn't blow up in terms of pace, going out too fast. I just, either my training wasn't there, or again, I think the nutrition was on point. I took them regularly. From what I can recall, I took at least 4, maybe 5. I ended up with 1 spare, and I took one of my own, so I think after checks 4 or 5 I put on the screen, I took 4 or 5 during the race. I sipped water at every aid station, just took a bit on board. I took a little bit when I was taking the gels as well, so I was hydrated. I took the gels, obviously I was nutrition wise, I can't take any more, I can't be taking food on board, so I did everything I possibly could. But yeah, initially I was a bit deflated. Now, when I take a step back and I look at the whole picture in terms of how I did. So again, pop it on the screen now. I ended up getting a 15k PR, a 10 mile PR, a 20k PR, a half marathon PR, and a 30k PR. Now the 30k is only the second or third time I've ever run that far, and obviously I was at race pace, so I was expecting to hit the 30k PR. But the half marathon PR just shows I need to do more work on a half marathon in terms of I shouldn't be hitting a half marathon PR on my first attempt for a marathon. I should be a couple of minutes slower. But that's because my marathon pace PRs aren't where they should be. I should be a couple of minutes faster. I've just never focused on the half marathon distance yet. I remember vividly looking at, I did the metric last year, which is a 26k race, and I remember ticking by when I hit 26k on my watch. I glanced down, and I was a good 10 minutes faster than I was last year. So it shows the fitness was there. I ran this basically 26 kilometers of this marathon 10 minutes faster than I ran the 26 kilometers last year, which was just 26k full race. So overall, like I said, now I've kind of come to take a step back and appreciate everything. I'm pretty happy with how things have gone overall. Yes, there's some niggling doubts in terms of what could have kicked on, but again, I know I'd give my best on the day. I wanted to enjoy the marathon. I could have maybe pushed a little bit and maybe knocked a couple of seconds and minutes off. But it was also my first experience of the marathon, and I wanted to enjoy it, and I thoroughly enjoyed the whole experience from start to end. Just basically the camaraderie, the fact that you get a lot of support in all these outlying villages. People come out and bang pans and cheer you on, and I'm always amazed how people stand by the roadside for hours on end and just cheer on random strangers who are just running past. So yeah, I fully enjoyed it. It won't be my only marathon. I'll be obviously looking at other marathons. I've entered the ballot for London. Obviously, I appreciate the minimal chance of it coming out. I think it's about 4% chance of being drawn in the marathon for London. So cross my fingers, and if I get into that next April, that'll be my next marathon. If not, if that doesn't pan out London, which is unlikely, I think I'm going to look at maybe more half marathon for next year. I'm going to just try and look at that for just a distance to focus on. Like I said, I've got a lot of work to do on that. At the minute, my PR would be this one from the marathon. So it currently stands at 1:46.28. Whereas, like I say, I know my current 5k is 20 minutes. My current 10k is like 47, which should be more like low 40s. Again, I've never really gone for a full-on 10k PR. And my half marathon, then if I get my 10k down to low 40s, I should really be around the 130s for a half marathon. So yeah, so again, there's lots of work to be done then. And then again, once I get to that position where I'm running my half marathons down to, I'd say, the high 130s, that gives me a better chance of hitting my marathon goals of like 3:30ish or even sub. So yeah, so overall, just a quick dive into the stats. Like I said, I was flying till about 25k, and then hit the wall a little bit, and then obviously the hills in the second half just kind of sapped me whatever I had left. But again, speaking to other people who have done the course on the day, we all had the same type of profile, the same kind of experience, where they found the course quite challenging, especially the second half from like after halfway onwards. People seemed to hit a wall a little bit, or flag, or just drop off on pace, and they just couldn't get that pace going again. So maybe it was the course, maybe it was the day, but yeah, overall I've fully enjoyed it. I hope everyone who watched the full vlog enjoyed the footage from that. But yeah, I don't want to bang on too much, just a quick dive into it. But yeah, overall now I've kind of come full circle. I'm really happy with how I did on the marathon for my first attempt. I will be back. I will be doing other marathons. I might give Chester, I don't know if I'll do it next year, Chester. I might do a different type of course. Like I said, I'm going to be focused on halves unless I get into London. Just so I can focus on halves. So I think it's a bit easier to train for those as well in terms of time commitment around the family. But I will be looking at, let's say, a marathon maybe in 12-18 months time, looking at having another stab at it, trying to better that time, which I'm sure I can. But yeah, as always, thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe if you haven't already. Like I said, I do appreciate the channel is still growing. We're only I think about 4 months old now, so we've packed quite a bit in the 4 months. But so I do appreciate everyone who likes, shares and subscribes. Obviously drops comments on. Like I said, we're still growing. It does help the channel to basically get people to find us and see what we're doing. But yeah, as always, thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.